There's a growing movement to recognize and respect the history and culture of Indigenous peoples. And you might be seeing this happen in your everyday life, like in school, at sporting events, or even at your workplace. Maybe you've seen a group of people stand for a moment of silence while someone speaks in an Indigenous language. Or maybe you've seen a hockey team put flags on the ice before a game. These are all examples of land acknowledgments. But what is a land acknowledgement, and why do schools and other institutions use them? A land acknowledgement is a formal statement that recognizes the traditional and ongoing relationship between Indigenous peoples and their homelands. It acknowledges that Indigenous peoples have a spiritual and cultural connection to the land that has been here long before colonization and continues to be here today. Institutions like universities, museums, and sports teams often use land acknowledgments at the beginning of events or ceremonies to raise awareness of the history of the place they are on and to honor the Indigenous peoples who have been there for generations. It's a way of giving voice to the people who have been silenced and their cultures that have been suppressed. It's also an opportunity to reflect on the impact of colonization and to recommit to working towards reconciliation. But why is it important to acknowledge Indigenous lands and peoples today? It's important because we can't move forward without acknowledging the past. We need to recognize the history and culture of Indigenous peoples in order to build a better future. By doing so, we can work towards reconciliation, which is the process of repairing the relationship between Indigenous peoples and non-Indigenous peoples. One way that we can do this is by supporting efforts to reclaim and protect Indigenous heritage sites. These are places that are important to Indigenous peoples because of their cultural or historical significance. For example, the Confederated Tribes of Grand Rand have been working to reclaim and protect sites in Oregon that are important to their tribe's history. They've also partnered with local schools to provide educational opportunities about their culture and language. Another way we can support Indigenous peoples is by working to change the names of places that are tied to colonial figures. This is a way of removing symbols of oppression and replacing them with symbols of hope and healing. For example, in 2021, the city of Toronto removed the statue of Egerton Ryerson from its downtown area. Ryerson was a key figure in the development of Canada's residential school system, which was designed to assimilate Indigenous children into Canadian society. The statue's removal was a significant step towards reconciliation between Indigenous and non-Indigenous peoples. These are just two ways that we can support Indigenous peoples. There are many others. But perhaps the most important thing we can do is to listen to Indigenous voices and to learn about their history and culture. When we do this, we can better understand the challenges they have faced and continue to face.